Welcome back to Sikistan News at 6, the Office of Information Dissemination. We are back again. We are here with a good few things this week. A lot of diverse,
a lot of news this week.
Got a lot of weightlifting, got a lot of powerlifting. We've got some Irish athletics. We've got something. Ross Edgley's up to no good again. He's making waves.
Hey,
he's tearing through stuff.
Ross needs to take a break.
No, he took a break. He swam around the UK.
Ross needs to relax as well.
No, he took his break and now he's over it. He's done with his break. So we've got.
He's just been over training Chris Hemsworth.
Both of them, which was
Hemsworth.
What was someone had a joke about the less famous brother? Can't think of it now. So first up, we've got Lasha talakhadze. He was returned to competition, so his first competition since the Europeans, where he had the leg out. Obviously, we've seen his lifts on Instagram, and he was doing quite well. We didn't see any big clean and jerks from him, just a few, I think like 220, no foot stuff. So he was doing some Memorial Cup type event in Poland, a great weightlifting nation, and he went 3 for 3 in the snatch and then 2 for 2 in the clean and jerk. So we saw quite a big snatch from him. Clean jerk was down a bit. Let's have a look at the lift. So first up, we've got 90. Snatch is looking great, moving very fast. Technique is good, as always.
This looks to be in a Polish CrossFit gym.
It is a CrossFit gym, I think, but it looks things. That's like the rig in the background. He moving very, very well.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of the weight after injury, but not throw shade at anyone. All men gain weight around their abdominal and hips, and he back here a bit.
Yeah,
know? But obviously it's
it's obviously working for him.
It's not slowing him down.
No,
205, very fast.
Looking more athletic, if anything, than we saw him last year. You know,
a little bit more definition along there.
Yeah,
and then so 215. I love off-colored blues like that.
So what did he open after the clean and jerk?
215 was his opener.
Okay,
and we've 225. They didn't even have reds for him. Not even enough reds.
This is 235, is it?
No, this is 225. Oh, 235? Oh, sorry, 235. You're dead right. So, 235, 205, 235.
Yeah.
The return to competition, obviously keeping that injury safe and building back up. It's like 90 days or 3 months or something to Worlds, which I think are on in Colombia.
Is it that soon?
Yeah, sure. It's set first week of September now.
I think as well, you're always going to see the clean and jerk coming back much, much further down the line.
Yeah.
When you've like a serious leg injury like that, the snatch can get back in, even though it's obviously an absurdly large snatch. But for want of a better phrase, the arena of consequence with the weights and the clean and jerk is just so much more serious than it is for the snatch.
And his arena's by himself for the clean and jerks.
Just him in there in his own.
And obviously for those clean and jerks, he doesn't want to be peaking his clean and jerks way too early for Worlds. If he's 3 more months, it's a long time in training, or long term in terms of peaking for training. So he's probably going to be looking to be back in the 250s or 260s. Akbar is confirmed to be a super heavy. So
no way.
If Gregor, so New All Things Gym, on his Patreon, he said he was talking to Roslyn and he confirmed that Akbar will be a super at Worlds. That doesn't mean he'll be super at the Olympics, but he will be a super. But outside of that, I don't think anyone, Lasha still looks to be capable of 215 plus right now at these.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to be peaking his clean jerk too early, and obviously, the snatch can stay. You can keep your snatch at that level for like 90% of the year, and obviously they know exactly what they're doing. He does have quite a jump to the right, or the right, so 1 foot does move more. He had that before as well, and a lot of lifters have that, but I wonder if it had any part to play in his injury. You'd have to imagine it wasn't not related, it can't be inconsequential.
When it's as obvious and as pronounced as that as well, and the fact that it was like an inner quad injury, that's the first muscle group you'd think of if somebody had that kind of weird imbalance where they are jumping way out to the side.
He's got that belt that you only see those Iranians with.
Yeah.
I'd love to know where you can't get them if you're not strong enough.
I just assume they're made for you.
Yeah, no one's allowed to have them.
No.
Moving on to someone else who's basically one of the strongest in the world.
I was just about to say the other person they call the strongest in the world.
John Haack benched 272.5 kilos, aka 600 pounds. Now, he has done this before, but he did it again. And
it's insane, like.
So, actually, that's a wrong 600 pound bench. Sorry.
Is that an old one?
That was an old one. That was one he did a few weeks ago. Here's one he did yesterday, which is actually better. And he's gone in for a Young LA sponsorship, you can see.
3 months out? 3 weeks out?
3 weeks out, so 272.5. He's competing fairly frequently, which is interesting.
Yeah.
He is looking enormous. 272.5, 600 pounds, incredibly clean. not a very wide grip, like a very neutral, like a very normal grip. Obviously quite tough, but it's 600 pounds bench. So I mean,
what I love as well is like there's no putting on the singlet for the big heavy single day. There's no putting on elbow sleeves or a belt for your bench press. He just gets after it, doesn't he?
His little wrist wraps.
So strong.
Yeah,
I'll leave him off with the wrist wraps for 600 pounds. Like that's fair.
It's like 600 pounds a bench press is kind of hard to comprehend. Like the fact that he's doing it makes it less impressive.
And what weight do you think he is? 210 pounds?
They say he competes at 89. So 189, but he said in the video he was like over 95, so about 15 pounds over.
Okay, yeah. So
probably similar here, unless he's moving up again. But the problem with John Haack benching 600 pounds with nothing on him, no single ply, like no elbow sleeves, is it makes it less impressive the fact that he's doing it. Like if he didn't do it, it'd be more. It would make you understand that it's so fucking heavy to be benching that. Like the pressure in his upper body there from that is mental.
Oh my god, yeah.
Incredibly
insane.
Impressive. Sticking with incredibly impressive powerlifters, we've Jessica Buettner. That's not how you think you'd say it, but that is.
Oh, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, it's
I always said Buettner.
Yeah, you're wrong. 215 kilos for double. Conventional. It's unbelievable.
The thing with her deadlift always for me is that really heavy weights, it's still very fast.
Yes.
It's always like that explosive kind of twitchy fast. Very, very good.
She has that kind of vibration thing going on that, like, you know, Hayden, Stefan's old partner, Hayden Bow had that time. Now, obviously, she's incredibly lifter. So this is 2.5 kilos over her comp PB, which is the world record, I think.
And she did it for a double.
It's
some going.
She's the only person who can wear those deadlift slippers and not look like a tool.
Yeah. And it has to be said as well, like, not by any means built very well for deadlifting. Like she has pretty long arms, but she has very long legs.
That's very true actually. Yeah,
you know, like her arms are helping her out there, but she's by no means ideal proportions for deadlifting, and she's doing the world record for a double.
She has the kind of conventional deadlift that we love, so really narrow stance, like quads are engaged for a lot of the lift. There's no dropping your hips below parallel and coming up into it. It's quite an aggressive static start, but there's not a huge amount of joint angle changes in the static start. So nice quick hip pump, which is great for a lot of people if you can maintain the mid-back position. Mixed grip, which is perfect. We're not too bothered either way. Preferably double overhand. You do seem to get a better tightness in your back, but it's obviously working incredibly well. Type 1 diabetic as well. So she said this was fueled by a diabetes rage. So I failed the first set on grip, then heard my sensor go off for high blood sugar alarm, then immediately before the set, and that was it. So 10 weeks out. I wonder, has anyone done any kind of comparison between type 1 diabetics and the use of insulin and performance, you know, and like is there any investigation to be had there? Because obviously, you know, insulin is a performance enhancing drugs in other contexts. For her, it's obviously life-saving medicine.
Interesting how 2 of the last 3 people we spoke about are type 1 diabetic insulin users.
Who else?
Lasha.
You see? Mm-hmm. How'd you know that?
I think that's...
No. You're thinking Maddie Steiner, I'd say.
No, I'm not, I'd say.
Lasha?
I think so.
I don't think he's a diabetic. I've never heard that. You Googling it?
Yeah.
I've never heard that. It's definitely... So Maddie Steiner, the former German super heavyweight, was a diabetic. I don't think he was type 1 though. He developed it later. Funny story about Maddie Steiner is he deadlift or front squat is 300 for 3 reps or 300 for 5 reps before the Beijing Olympics. So pretty strong individual as well. So maybe insulin is performance enhancing, but who knows? Obviously the IPF quite strict in terms of the same WADA rules, so there's obviously no issue because there's plenty of people who have like TUEs for TRT and can compete in WADA or in WADA tested events, you know. So it's interesting. It's probably a question she gets a lot as well. It's probably quite annoying.
It's probably very annoying.
But
it appears as though I did get my super heavies mixed up.
You're Maddie Steiner. Yeah. It's easy. It's easy to happen. Sticking with incredibly strong female lifters, we have Guo.
Some of the best looking squats in the game. It has to be said.
175/3. Not sure what weight class she's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know.
The most ghetto squat rack ever. Just inch piping welded together.
The main thing I love about this set of squats and her squats in general is fast into the bottom and then it's just like explosive.
Super toes forward as well, which, you know, there's very little toe angle, which is fine. You know, we do talk about that a lot, and for if you can do it, it can be very beneficial for some people. Obviously, very beneficial for her. You just need a lot of dorsiflexion, a lot of range of motion. Strange loading at the bar, I'm not going to lie. And
very strange, yeah.
And I've loaded the bar weird.
Yeah, you tend to be liberal with your...
A liberal bar loading, but small fives like that, she obviously was doing a lot of sets on the way up, I would imagine. So going quite small jumps, getting a lot of volume in, which you do see female weightlifters do get a little bit more.
The other thing I really like about her squats, and it's something that as people are trying to get better at high bar squats, or if you're trying to get better at high bar squats, she keeps her hips back at the top. I think a lot of the time we see people like drive their hips through and tuck their hips in underneath them as they stand up. You'll see her keeping that kind of slight anterior pelvic tilt and keeping the hips back and engaged at the top, and it makes a massive difference.
And if you have a ghetto squat rack, one for shorter people and one for taller people, that's just how it works, I assume. Bar, and no fear of the bar rolling forward. I mean, it's not going to travel that far, probably.
Probably, maybe not.
That is an amazing training hall. I'd love to go to Taipei, but
someday.
Also with the looming threat of we can't say who, in case the YouTube algorithm tries to get us. Moving on.
It's already gotten us.
It's gotten us. Moving on. Ross Edgley is going for another world record thing.
Ross, phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
The one word they can use. When you swim so much that your tongue is falling apart in your mouth, and I get it that this is freshwater and not saltwater, so it shouldn't be that much of an issue. But surely Ross can just be like, I'm grand now.
No.
I'm okay now.
He's like Ranulph Hines or fucking mad, bad and dangerous to know. He can't help himself.
I know.
So if you don't know what Ross did formerly, he swung around Great Britain or UK.
He swum
around Great Britain. So he didn't touch land, so he just slept on the boat. It took him 150 odd days. One of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to actually is his book on that. Phenomenal. He swum around it non-stop. He just that's an amazing feat. No one's ever done it before. Now he's going for the longest staged swim in open water, so we say not in a pool. And current record, he's going doing it at Loch Ness. The current record is 2 lengths of Loch Ness, which is a lot. Like a little ocean.
If you drive around Loch Ness, it takes ages, and it's just one big long sliver of water. Like you can see how there'd be a monster living there, and people would thought, oh yeah, it could be living there, and we just never realised.
So he's going swimming that, and he said he's going to do 5 lengths, but non-stop, so he's not going to stop swimming. I assume he can pause for eating or whatever and stuff like that, but he can't get on a boat or stop like that. The funny thing about Ross is he's such a nice guy. It's so funny. So he's talking about other people doing this, and he's talking about, he's like, other people have world records where they'll do in rivers or do in the ocean, and they have the tide with them and stuff. And he's talking shit about them, but in the nicest way possible.
Yeah.
So he's basically saying they did it double ply with knee sleeves, and he's going to do it raw with no knee sleeves. But he's doing it in a really nice way, and he's like, it's amazing. They should all be celebrated, and I just want to do it my own way, But he's throwing shade at them. So he's going to go for 5 lengths of the Loch Ness.
Yeah.
I just want to say now,
go on.
There's no other person on YouTube or Instagram or anything that I would like for us to go do videos with than Ross Edgley. He's number 1 on the list. He just seems like the most. I would love to go to UK and do stuff with him.
It's appropriate that it's a Monday as well, because it is Man Crush Monday.
Man Crush Monday and Ross Edgley, without a doubt. I would love to go do videos with Ross. I commented on one of his videos with our Seek Strength YouTube and saying, oh, we'd love to get you on the podcast. And he said he just got too many things on. He just really politely turned me down.
Yeah.
We got rejected.
Best of luck in this, Ross, if you do watch this.
Finally, on to Irish athletics.
Irish athletics has been on fire lately.
Yeah.
On fire on the international scene and on the kind of European scene. Things are a really young team by the looks of it, and things are going insanely well. So one of the most famous runners, or probably the most famous runner in Irish history, is Sonia O'Sullivan. Her 1500 metre record has stood for the last 20 years. I don't know how long. It was just beaten by more than 2 seconds recently at a Diamond League event in Brussels by Ciara Mageean. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So Ciara, I think, ran
3:56.63.
Insane.
Yeah. So
absolutely unbelievable. It's great to see Irish athletics, or track and field in Ireland, doing very, very well. Obviously, we've had some great results over the last few weeks, but this is the kind of standout case for me, particularly where we are in Cork. Sonia O'Sullivan is a hero down here. If you watched the running vlog last week, the running track that we did the first attempt on is the Sonia O'Sullivan running track. And to see her record being beaten so kind of comprehensively is crazy. You know, it's great to see a new era of sport coming in here.
So Irish athletics get a lot of support, and it's a good example of what happens when nations, you know, put a lot of work into a particular system or particular series of sports. You know, in athletics, they get a lot of support, and they have done for a long time. I remember even when, you know, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when I was starting out on weightlifting, they were getting a lot of support then, and they've been getting a lot of it since. You know, they get a lot of funding, which is a huge thing for sports. Like, there's a minimum requisite amount of funding you need to be giving athletes. There's obviously plenty of institutional knowledge here, and I would love to know if it was outsourced anywhere else or if other people are brought in. You know, so it's interesting to see how it's going. I don't know how this kind of tallies up in relation to world record events or international level. The fact that she was at the Diamond League itself is a good sign, because as far as I know, that's a qualification only event, a very prestigious event, the Diamond League. So it is great to see, and be interested to see how it progresses.
I have one more thing to say on this.
Go on.
And this goes out to all the British people out there. When you're reading BBC News articles or any of the English publications really, and they talk about Ciara being a Northern Ireland athlete, when Irish athletes do well, and they're from the north of Ireland but they're representing Ireland, and you'll see this with Rory McIlroy, you'll see this when Irish rugby do well, and they'll talk about the lads from the north. Don't do that anymore, please. They're not yours.
BBC was like the Northern Ireland athlete, so why couldn't you just call her the Irish athlete? She's competing for Ireland. She broke an Irish record. She's competing for Ireland in an event. I assume she considers herself Irish if that's the case. So it's a little bit narky to be calling her Northern Ireland athlete. And
as well, she came in ahead of Laura Muir, who's the British athlete, who was a silver medalist at the Games. So please don't do that anymore.
That's mad. 1500 meters, 3:56. That's sprinting.
That is running very, very quickly.
Hope you enjoyed today's news show. We will see you again next Monday. We'll actually see you tomorrow for more videos, but we'll see you again next Monday for more.
The shirt and ties will see you next Monday again.
Whatever variation of those we have.